This episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast Extra Take, is sponsored by, well, of course, all of you amazing patrons. Thank you for your support, and without it, we wouldn't be able to do this. Now, on with the show. Hello and welcome everyone to The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast Extra Take. This is episode 7 of our supplemental series for the Arena podcast. So I'm here with my co-host of the Arena multi-platform gaming news podcast, Burly of BurlyMenGaming. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Here to talk to you about two games. One being Deathloop. I got the little because I had a physical pre-order. They gave you a little sock thing that you can make it into a hat and a bunch of different things.
Awesome.
The weirdest pre-order bonus ever. And I did for my streams because I use Streamlabs, and I made a little card. And you have no idea how many freaking times my chat would make me play that card. So I have to rush, take my headphones off, put it on as a hat, get the headphones on while I get shot.
Right. So, like Burly said, we're going to be talking about Deathloop as well as Kena Bridge of Spirits in this episode of Extra Take. And it'll be a spoiler-free type of discussion, but we want to kind of give our thoughts about these two games. Actually, Burly has played Deathloop. I have not, so I'm interested to hear what Burly has to say about that. But I have played Kena as well as Burly, so we will be talking about both of these games. And I just want to let all of you know that this episode will be going in early access to Patreon at patreon.com/thearena_podcast. And then after 2 days, it will go up to our YouTube channels at Expat YouTube Gaming and the Arena Citadel. As well, after the first 2 days, it will go in audio format up to free podcast services. So with that said, Burly, I'm going to let you take it away with Deathloop. And we've got some footage of both Deathloop and Kena. So we're going to be showing that sporadically during the episode. So as we discuss both of these games. So go ahead, take it away, man. Let's start with Deathloop, man.
Deathloop. What to say? Originally, when I had recorded, because I had recorded this footage a while ago, and unfortunately, due to timing and things, we couldn't meet up to record this. So I had written and ready for that, because I've been playing the game more on my off time because I'm trying to get the platinum trophy because I have a problem.
Yeah, I just want to mention one thing. We were supposed to record this episode last week, but we had a typhoon blowing through here in the area that I live in here in Japan, and actually last night I was kind of worried because we had an earthquake here. So it's like Japan is just a country with disasters waiting to happen. Unfortunately, natural disasters, but. The typhoon wasn't too bad. We didn't have any damage or anything, and the earthquake was kind of a lighter earthquake. So everything's great. Everything's fine. So all you listeners and viewers out there, I'm fine. Our family's fine, and everybody out here is okay. No damage or anything. So, but so go ahead, Burly. So let's talk about first the HUD in the game. So some of this footage that we're going to be showing. You show a lot of footage of the HUD in this game. So can you give us some information about this?
Yeah, the HUD, unlike a lot, like I should say, maybe not. That's the right phrasing. The HUD is so important in Deathloop because it is live or freaking die. Because you'll see in some of the footage, I'm re-going over different sections of the inventory. Because you really got to make sure, like I'm checking my slabs, because you can only have 2 of those. Those are your powers. Like, so the blink from Dishonored is one they call shift in this game.
Yeah.
So if you've played Dishonored, you know what that is. You
Yes.
have this invisible one that I swear, if you're playing the game and not using that, you're crazy. Especially once you get some of the upgrades for it, like because there's one I have that where I don't move and it won't drain my energy. So it's nice. I can stop moving, sit, let guards walk by, and then continue walking by invisible, which is so handy. But it's also you're checking. You want to check your weapons, and they have what are called trinkets, and you put them in, and they boost your weapons and give different effects.
Okay.
So
now
you
this
really
game.
want
to. Let me just ask you this question, Burly. So, what percentage of this game is stealth? Is it the whole game stealth, or is it just like elements of the game that are stealthy?
You can play the whole damn game stealthy. I played more stealthy than run and go in because I found early on you run and go in unless you have like some of the other slab powers, which I find aren't as good in my opinion. You're gonna get your ass kicked real fast because you can't. You don't have the way you heal is you got to find like his pops or healing stations. It's not like Dishonored where you had you press I think circle and you had a life vial and you'd heal yourself. You don't have that, so you got that one little health bar. You cannot increase that. So you've got to play your situation smart.
Right.
So I would do more stealth, but you can there. I think there's like one of the objectives you have to kind of play stealth, but most of them you can do run and gun if you prefer.
Right.
But I highly do not recommend that.
And you said that there are no other difficulty levels in this game. There's only one difficulty level, right?
Yeah, same difficulty for everyone. But my playthrough can be vastly different from if you decide to play the game or anyone else. The way I played it and the routes I chose completely different because once you first start the game and get the intro is done. You get the ability where you can die. You have 3 lives in a mission.
Okay.
And then what they want you to do is go through all the loops, finding all the different targets, killing them, and learning information and gaining stuff. But you can pick whatever one you want. And then once you've done that all, you can do now the one perfect loop, and you can go in your menu and see all the info you found. So like this is something you're going to be going in that HUD looking at stuff all the time. This is a game I gave up on streaming because just so much focus and stuff. It's too hard, and it's like I don't want to be so focused on that. My chat's over there, and they're like, "Notice me, hey," and I don't want to be cold shoulder to that. So it's like,
right.
But
does this game have any roguelike elements to it? So, for example, you were saying in a mission you have 3 lives. So, like, if you die 3 times within a mission, does it take you back to the very beginning, or do you start that mission just where you left off from the previous save?
You start off at the beginning of the day, so before that mission, and if you collected stuff in that run, tough shit, you lost it. But the nice thing that I have learned a few things that I have said in the past that are wrong. If you are doing a mission, you find something you like, what you can do is go into the menu, turn off the mission, and you can go back to your base. And if you have enough of what is called residuum, you can infuse whatever you found so you keep it. So that way it stays in your inventory. So the next run you do, you can equip it. And even if you die on your next run, you still have whatever the shotgun or whatever weapon or trinket or whatever you found.
Now, during a mission, can you create fast travel points to make the mission go by quicker? or does everything go from point A to point B all the way? You can't have a fast travel point.
There is no fast travel points because you'll pick. I believe in the footage I do show this off. If I'm wrong, sorry, but you'll have your 4 different missions you're picking because you're going to them at different time periods.
Yeah.
But there is no fast travel in there. There are little shortcuts as you've been playing the game. You will learn little shortcuts in different paths in different areas.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So this, obviously you could play this single player, but there are multiplayer elements to this game as well, right? I mean, I've heard people talking about it, and I think maybe you have also talked about this as well, where, you know, people could actually come into your game. Now,
yes.
What is that all about?
Okay, so the other character, if you've seen any of the promo or trailers, is Juliana. She is one of the 8 targets you're trying to kill. She, as if you're doing missions, if you alert enough people or just certain things happen, I'm not 100% clear on every time she'll show. She can show, and if you have the multiplayer turned on in the game, it will try and match another player that has the game that's playing, that selects the protect the loop Juliana.
Okay.
And then they can play, because I've killed other people. Okay. And they've killed me. But I've done it both ways, and it is a fun mode. Juliana's fun to play because she has some of the same powers as Colt, but she also has a cool one where she can she puts on a face mask, and if I don't know if you've played like some of the Assassin's Creed, like Brotherhood and all that, multiplayer, yes. Where you disguise yourself as one of the NPCs. That's what you can do. You can do that to help trick you against Colt. That will only last for a little bit. But here's the thing you need to worry about. If you start acting different than one of those AIs, like you're on just a random roof, I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, that's Juliana. Shoot her. You're like, you'll learn that.
Right.
The multiplayer's fun, but I find if you're trying to get through and just engross yourself in the game and you're playing single player, go into the menu, turn off the multiplayer. Because if you have that multiplayer on, even if Juliana doesn't invade your game, you can pause the game, but you're not paused. Because I've done that. I paused, took a bathroom break or whatever, stretch or getting some water or something, and got shot and killed.
Yeah. So, what do you think they could make a sequel out of this game?
No, this is a kind of one and done.
Standalone. Okay.
Yeah, I like this game. I really do. I don't want to see. I don't want a sequel to this. This was a nice one and done. Something you're taking what you have and trying something different.
Like a new IP.
This game does not need to be. I don't need 10 games. I don't need this to be a giant franchise that's milked to death.
Right.
Like one of my aspects that I don't like is the story for the game.
Okay.
If you don't look in certain areas, you're gonna miss some quite valuable story things that explain a little bit about Colt and explain a little bit of background of what's going on. And I had initially missed some of them on my first runs, but as I've been playing the game more, I've been finding them. And it's like, oh, and it's kind of like, that's not as neat as that is. I kind of get that a hindrance because you lose what's a little more of what's going on. I know it's trying to be like a mystery, and as you slowly go through, you learn. But if I'm not getting the info, and it's too easily that I can miss some crucial piece of detail that would explain things a little bit more, that's a negative.
So do you think, okay, we're getting towards the end of the year here, of course, these 2 games came out in late September. So, you know, Deathloop could possibly be, you know, selected as one of the games for Game of the Year when it comes to the Game Awards. Do you think this game should be considered as a Game of the Year candidate?
Uh, I can see how some people can put that, but I can't see this as game of the year. I have too many little flaws that hold the game back from being game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and move on, Burly, and let's talk about Kena, Bridge of Spirits. I just want to let all of you listeners and viewers out there know that up until this game, close to before this game was released, a lot of people were mispronouncing the main character's name as Kena, but her name is pronounced Kena. Yes, so Kena,
yep.
Bridge of Spirits. So let's talk about this, Burly. I mean, this is the most Pixar-esque game that I've probably ever played. Its visuals are stunning. The music is beautiful, and I really love the story. I mean, it blends like nature and this aura of spiritual awareness to it. It has a lot of elements of Japan and like the South Pacific in it as well. Yeah, what's your take on this game, man? I'll let you start first, and then I'll comment a little bit on it as well. What did you think, man?
I really enjoyed this game. Like the art style, especially if you're playing this on a PS5, you get a nice monitor, nice TV. Oh, this game just looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and the SSD with the PS5, I mean, the loading times, it's amazing. I mean, like,
as you can see in some of the footage, because I recorded this off the PS5, and I was like, oh, that I love that custom SSD.
Yep.
This was just a great game that I had a lot of fun, and it wasn't. It was nice that it wasn't a giant price, and it was just here's your story to the end. Like, it wasn't a long, drawn out. I'm playing a 30 to 40 hours, where 10 hours of it was good, and the other majority of it, I'm like, why? This was just a nice.
I think I completed the main story in maybe 12 to 13 hours. I think it was. Yeah. So.
Yeah, mine was about 12.
Yeah.
12,
so
12 to.
Yeah, and hats off to Ember Lab. I mean, because this is their first, venture into the video game space of creating a video game here, and boy, they really hit it out of the park on this one. And I really like Kena as a character. I mean, her family situation. You get some of the backstory of her within the game as well, and she's like a traveler. And she is kind of, one of those spirit guides that helps spirits find the way, so to speak. And the story is very riveting, and I really enjoyed it, and how she helps the villagers from the past. So, not to spoil anything, but in this game, basically, you go into a village that is pretty much deserted because of the things that had happened about 100 years prior to the time that Kena arrives. But she helps some of the spirits from the village that had lived there, and of course, some of the battles in the game have something to do with these spirits, and of course. Being able to regenerate your health by meditation. And then, of course, the rots, the little rots, are so cute. And it's funny how you can stop and go to these stations and get hats for for the rots and stuff. I think I had like a birthday hat for one of the rots and stuff.
You can get birthday and some of the
party hats,
party hats, but actually some of the characters and bosses that have masks, you can get the masks for them. I love them, and this game has the most badass of, you know what, the you know how there's the whole iconic of Link opening the chest in the Legend of Zelda series?
Yeah.
This is just be better. Stop the stick, boom, chest opens. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how she uses the masks. So the masks represent the spirits that you're trying to help guide. And with these masks, you get to, see some of the backstories of these characters. It's really cool. And the cinematics in this game, like I was saying, very Pixar-esque. It's really, really cool. So, yeah. And of course, as you go on in the game, you get new skills. And one of those new skills, obviously, Burly, is the bow and arrow. So a lot of people are going to compare this game kind of to Horizon Zero Dawn and Aloy's character, of course, but of course, Kena is more of a Pixar-esque type of Aloy. But it's really fun to use her staff as a bow in this game. It's really cool. So, and there's a lot of little challenges, as you go along the way to get better skilled at using the bow, and you're definitely going to use that bow in the combat.
That bow has saved me so many times.
Yeah,
because combat is quite difficult in this. Because I started on the highest difficulty. I had to go down. I have no shame in admitting it. This game, and you're talking to a guy that has played Demon Souls, two playthroughs. This game was harder than Demon Souls in parts. And that's why I know one streamer buddy of mine that is a huge into the Souls series. He's playing through on the hardest difficulty and he's loving it because of the challenge. And I'm like, that's great. That's like,
yeah. And just one of the downsides of the game, I guess I would say, there are some bug issues. Like for example, the little rot characters, they're not just little rot characters that are weak. They're pretty strong and they can move things around in this game. And in portions of the game, you can have the rot pick up large blocks and move them to a particular location so that you can climb up and get to a particular place in the game. But when the rots are carrying the block and then you let go, you tell them to let go. When the block is released, usually the block is still like a few inches above the ground. So, I mean, that was one of the bugs that I ran into in the game. But and then I think one of the only other pet peeves I had about Kena, Bridge of Spirits, was in the map. It's like, you have locations where you can fast travel and all, but going from point A to point B, you can't like make a custom pointer, like having an imaginary like line or something. So when you're running around, you could run around for 20-30 minutes trying to figure out, where the hell am I going? Am I supposed to go over here? Oh no, it's on the right side. Oh no, it's to the left. And then you're like going in circles trying to figure out where to go. So I mean, I wish that they would have implemented like a placement, like a tracking line or something like that in the map, or like a directional pointer or something like that as you're playing, especially for those that aren't used to these types of games. That could have been implemented, I think, and put into it. But so I don't know. How did you feel about that, Burly? I mean, the fast travel parts were cool, but
I agree with you on that, because one of the things that bugged me is because I found some sections with the bow early on, didn't realize you get a bow, but you kind of want to have like those custom pins, mark them on the map, so I know, hey, I can come back here later and get something.
Right.
You can't do that in this game. So you have to either remember, or let's be honest, you're going to pull up a game map that has all this shit on some.
Yeah, you're going to be pulling up that map a lot, I think. So.
Oh yeah, it's like so it's just like that stuff I don't. And I kind of like I believe it showed it off somewhere in my footage, is that you have to go to these little shrines that are your fast travel points. You can't just open up the map and then say, oh, I got a fast travel point here, because it won't let you fast travel unless you're at one of these little fast travel shrine things. And I get it, but at the same time, if I can't pin shit to know where I've got to go, or to go back to find stuff, I want it fast travel quick. Come on. Like, that's something I know they can eventually, they may just down the line with patching fix, but that was a small kind of pet peeve to me.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I mean, another thing I liked about the game is getting those spiritual, kind of like the letters that you would deliver back to the like the homes in the
Oh, the
village.
mail.
The
The mail,
mail,
that,
yes.
yeah, that was
So that you could, lift the curses that were inside the houses of particular people that had lived in that village. And that was really cool. And those are little boss battles as well.
Mhm.
Some of them are timed. For example, I think you have to kill
Oh,
like 5 to 10 enemies like within like 30 seconds or something like that. So yeah, those are pretty
yeah.
cool. I really like that as well.
Yeah, you get those for some chests later in the game. You'll get
Yeah. Yeah.
one that annoyed me. This took me, I think it was like 20 to 30 minutes on a stream session,
Mhm.
where you had to kill these 5 enemies, and one of them's a new enemy type you haven't encountered yet, or unless you go a little farther in the story, kind of thing. Is you got to kill 5 enemies without taking any damage,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
one I didn't know how to fight, so it took me a while. Like, I kill the other ones fine, because if you're quick with the bow, and the other ability, which I don't know if we want to name or not, but
Yeah.
beside them, bow and spear in mystery ability by the game. Um, you, I was good with those with the killing the other enemies, but this other enemy, it took me a while to just. I had to learn the pattern, and
Yeah.
be like, oh, okay. When he does this, I have literally 2 seconds. I can get an arrow or two off.
Yeah. And another skill that you're going to gain in Kena Bridge of Spirits is the ability to, for example, throw something at a stone, and then the stones will lift in the air, which will give
Mhm.
you the ability to jump on them and to get from like a low point to a very
Mhm.
high point. And I had some problems with that because the jumping in the game, you
Yeah.
have to pinpoint your jumps right at the exact moment, and they're timed as well. So like you have maybe 20 seconds, and then you hear that boop 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 boop, boop, and then they'll fall back down to the ground, and you with them. So you know and the climbing in the game, I just want to say one thing about the climbing in this game. It really kind of reminded me of the Uncharted games,
Oh
because you
yeah.
have those little painted sections on the edges of the rocks and the cliffs where you have to climb and everything. So that was very Uncharted like.
Yeah.
But those are pretty cool little elements to the game. So
Yeah, the platforming and jumping is not the greatest in this game.
yeah.
Especially, but you have to also take it with a grain of salt. These are first time game developers, so I'm a little more lenient compared to, like,
Yeah.
if this was Ubisoft or Activision or one of the other big companies, I'd be giving them no excuse. Them,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, this I understand why this is a little like this.
Yeah.
I think they can. I think they can improve it. They do give you that double jump. You are going to need that double jump to course correct and help you a lot.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
and those
Yeah.
timing sections Expat was talking about, those can get, especially near the end game, those get real strict. You screw up
Yes.
once,
Yep.
you're done. You got to
And
try
back
again.
to the beginning. Back to the beginning. Yes. So.
Yeah, I went once with one of the power ups I did with it.
Mhm.
It bounced me off and glitched me through the puzzle.
Oh no.
No, like, it helped me. It actually, I thought I was gonna get screwed, but it, like, because easiest way to describe it, you're on the bottom level, you got to get up to
Mhm.
the top, which is like the third level, but you got to hit
Right.
multiple things.
Right.
I got to maybe about level 2, and
Mhm.
it flinged me. It wasn't supposed to fling me the way it did,
Hmm.
but flinged me up the top. So I was like,
Oh
okay, I missed having to jump 2
wow.
platforms here. And unfortunately,
Interesting.
I didn't get back in time to cut the footage, or else
Yeah.
I would have clipped the footage and sent you that.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the story elements of this game were amazing. I mean, I love the narrative in this game, the spiritual aspects of it, um, you know, uh, the family aspects of it, the village and the people within the village, and then all the nods to nature in this
Oh yeah.
game as well. I really really enjoyed that, and I'm going to ask you the same question, Burly, as I did about Deathloop. Um, We got the Game Awards
Mhm.
coming up in December. Does Kena Bridge of Spirits deserve to be on the list of Game of the Year candidates
For this year, I would
for
say
this
so.
year?
Yeah, I say because I'm trying to like think of everything that's like high this year. Like Ratchet, I'm gonna be no secret to me. Ratchet and Clank is my pick for the year so far.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to
Kena,
talk about my Game of the Year so far. You'll have to listen to the regular episode of the podcast to get that. So.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I know you know what it is, but yeah. So I'll save that for the regular podcast episodes.
But Kena is definitely up in my top games this year. This is a game not to miss. If it doesn't miss, doesn't win Game of the Year, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an indie Game of the Year kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and who knows? Like Hades won so many awards from so many things. I could see the same for Kena, just swooping up at stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how this game will do, and I hope this does well. And I'm curious to see what they'll do next.
Yeah.
I know they said they're not necessarily going to make a sequel, which is fine. Like, I don't, as much as I may want a sequel to see what else they do with it, I'm okay with them being like, we did this, we want to try and go a different direction, try something different, try this.
Right.
I'm interested to see, and I'm curious to see with them doing this out, and this was big on PlayStation, is Sony, because Sony can't afford all the studios Microsoft can. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
But they're pretty small. Sony can, I think Sony's got enough cash they could buy them. The revenue they just made right now from buying Insomniac, they could just afford Ember Labs. So
like we were talking about with Deathloop. I mean, Deathloop is obviously a timed exclusive. It's a Bethesda game, and it's obviously gonna be coming to Xbox, and like after the 1-year exclusivity deal is up. And that's going to be coming to Game Pass day one. I can see Kena Bridge of Spirits, when its exclusivity period ends, it's going to go to Game Pass, I think.
Oh, Microsoft will be trying to get that game heavily.
Yep.
But I'm curious to see if Sony is going to make the move, because I think that with the little videos and stuff they have done, I think they've proved themselves. And for a first attempt of a game to do something this good, well done. Like, I can't wait to see what you do next. You have me intrigued. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sony doesn't scoop them. I think Microsoft will try.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. And this, I could see Kena being a game to play on Switch as well, in docked mode. Mode. Handheld mode, no, I don't think so. But in docked mode, I think Kena would be a really good game on the Switch as well.
No. You know what it'll be good for?
Yeah.
Steam Deck coming out soon.
The Steam Deck.
Because you can run the Epic Store on there. You can run the Epic said they're making it. They're not stupid. They want, if they know they can sell a couple extra copies to get people to buy games portable, they're going to do that shit. So since you can buy it on Epic, I'm curious to see how this will run. Yep.
We shall see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And as the Game Awards comes up in December, we'll be watching to see if Deathloop and Kena Bridge of Spirits make it on that list of Game of the Year candidates. So I want to thank you, Burly, for being on the episode tonight. So this has been episode 7. This has been episode 7 of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, Extra Take, our supplemental series to the podcast. And our regular podcast episode is going to be recorded tomorrow, episode 57 of the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast. So look out for that. And like I said at the beginning of the show here, this goes up for patrons in early access on patreon.com/thearena_podcast. And then it will go after 2 days early access to our YouTube channels at Expat YouTube Gaming and the Arena Citadel YouTube channel. And then also in audio format to free podcast services. So Burly, thank you so much. So Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch, and I've been your host, Expat. We hope to catch you in the next one. So this has been our look at Deathloop and Kena Bridge of Spirits. So take care, everyone. Peace.
Take care, everyone.
Out.
Bye.